locked in my decision to have a collision with my purpose. It is my assignment to be in alignment with my purpose. I'm locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, I'm all yours. Locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, your will, your will. Locked in my decision to have a collision with my purpose. It is my assignment to be in alignment with my purpose. Have a collision with purpose, 'cause you know that you're worth it, and your dream is worth capturing. If I'm not living on purpose, then none of it is worth it. My assignment is uplifting souls for the King, souls for the King, souls for the King.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another week of In the Spotlight. This is the home of Unfiltered Conversations, and this is where real talk is what we do. I am none other than Donna Thompson.
And I'm Dr. Laxley Stephenson, and together we're your moderators. And, you know, some people call us your fearless moderators. Why do they call us that, Donna?
Because we're unfiltered, maybe.
Because so are you saying that whatever comes out is okay?
Well, you know, we like we're not afraid to touch on any topic. How about that? Right? We're brave.
We're not afraid.
No.
And I hope that will remain so. We'll never be afraid to speak the truth, right? To talk the truth, because that's what this thing is all about. The collision with purpose. It's all about digging deep.
Yes.
Deep to get to the bottom of it and then bring it out. That's what we do, right? So what's been happening with you? What's going on?
Well, it's a Monday, the beginning of a new week. And you know something? I am so proud of myself because we started our walking again this morning. So it's been a long time to get back on the trail. So that was very, very good to do this morning. Very refreshing and energizing. So I was happy to start my week off by having a wonderful, brisk, early morning walk.
Yeah.
How about you?
And that's such an important thing, right? Seeking healing through physical activities, right? That's one of the dimensions that we need to focus on. Or physical state, or, you know, because there's such a thing as when the music stops, right?
Oh.
When those things that you once took for granted, those are not just easily done. And so we need to really get into that preventative state that where we are really, you know, doing what we need to do to prepare ourselves, you know, so that we can have a more sustainable, healthy life. And I think that's what you started this morning. I so appreciate that you reached out and connected with me, and we went walking, and we do it again tomorrow. So we encourage anyone that is listening to us or will be watching the replay, get out there, get in touch with your physical state and your mental and emotional as well. And just do what needs to be done, right? Do what needs to be done. So what is happening in the collision with purpose world? What do we have to look forward to in the next, up to next February?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, every day we have something new happening in a collision with purpose. That's just the everyday thing. But the big thing, one of the big things that we are in preparation of currently is our second year doing our A Collision with Purpose colloquium. And that will be happening February 22nd of 2025 at the Shiloh High School, which is in Snellville, Georgia. So if you weren't there last year, you definitely missed that event. But this year, it's going to be even bigger. So yeah, definitely, I encourage everyone to come out and support a Collision with Purpose, the colloquium. But of course, it's going to be where we're going to have individuals of the community, where we're going to honor, people who are doing the work. They're going out there, they're working in their communities, but they're not necessarily being recognized, right? It doesn't have to be anyone who is necessarily like, in a specific profession, but just your everyday person, right? That we want to honor. We want to honor those individuals and say, hey, we see you, we appreciate you, and we're happy that you're giving back to the community. So it will be a night of doing that. And of course, we'll have scholarships, and definitely, to top it all off, we're going to have the book launch for Daily Insights. So it's going to be an evening that is fun-filled with entertainment, and just great networking and positive, positive vibes.
And and it's very likely we'll have on display some artwork.
There you have it.
I think we can talk our tonight's guest, to bring out some of her pieces, right?
Look here.
And have them on display, because we'll talk a little bit more about that. We have a show tonight where we have a special guest, and I won't give it away because she'll be coming on shortly, and she will talk about her stuff, her work, and and how her work is making a difference in the lives of so many. It's bringing joy. And she's also doing work. I said I wasn't going to talk about it. Let me back off. Let me leave it to you. You have me getting carried away here. But another big thing that is happening, and I'm going to play a quick video. We won't go through the whole video because this piece of work is so important, and it's called Shadows Within. So I'm going to play a quick piece, and I want you to talk about it, okay?
Okay, sure.
Caught in the web of what they said, lost in the expectations, living in hesitation. I walked in other shadows. Deep inside, a fire burned, a whisper turned to a roar. I am liberated from walking in other shadows. I walk in my authentic self, breaking chains within. From the shadows to the light, a new life begins, shining so bright. Society tries to mold you into someone you couldn't be.
Society tries to mold you into what?
Someone you couldn't be.
Wow. I had to stop it there because that's such a big thing right there. So talk to us about Shadows.
So Shadows Within, it's, of course, it's going to be an anthology where we're going to have several co-authors that will share their stories in reference to how they've pretty much lived their life in someone else's shadow or someone else's expectation, right? Only to get to a certain point in life to realize that this is not me, this is not who I should have been. And basically, you've lost yourself, like you've lost yourself living in someone else's life, someone else's shadow. And you get to a point in your life, like a light bulb moment that happens, and you realize this is just not the life, it's not fulfilled. And you decide to do something about it. And just writing about how you changed and how you rediscover yourself, how you redefine yourself, only to now become that full, like a butterfly, right? That full person that you're supposed to be. And now you're really living authentically, standing on your platform, not apologizing for who you are and embracing who you are, and now really living a fulfilled life. And that's what Shadows is all about. And I can definitely share my story, but we'll share it probably when Tamara comes on, how I know that impacted me growing up to where I am now, and kind of like having to redefine who I am, what I'm doing, and my whole purpose of being here. So my story will be in there as well.
I like that hat you're wearing.
Oh, thank you. I like yours too.
Yes,
And
yes.
they are for sale. You know,
They are.
yes, you can purchase
Not
them.
another piece. Everything that we come on with is for sale. The only thing that's not for sale is you.
Well, no.
Yes, it's for sale. This is for sale. There are hoodies. You know, I'll tell you a quick story because we're going to take a break because we want to bring our special guest on. So, so one of the person we'll be honoring, right? At a colloquium, texted me and said, I'm on a flight going out of the country. And I saw, are you on the flight? I said, no, I'm getting ready to go to New York the next morning. She said, I saw someone wearing your company shirt, your hoodie.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I said, and I said, no, if you're heading towards Europe or into Africa, it's very likely you will see that our stuff, right? Because they're very popular in those places, right, in those areas. So anyway, so I just wanted to share that. I think right now I'm gonna play a video, take a quick break, and then we'll bring on our guest the way we like to do it.
Okay, sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
So let me roll this out.
A trail is written of hearts that strive. Through fire and flame, they find their way, becoming iron where courage holds sway. Becoming iron, with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction rising even higher. Displaying strength in the fiercest fight, becoming iron, shining in the night. Faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Together they rise, conquering fears, becoming iron through trials and fears. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction rising even higher. Displaying strength in the fiercest fight, becoming iron, shining in the night. Becoming iron, shining in the night. The brave man faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Becoming iron rose where he belongs. Becoming iron, shining in the night. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction rising even higher. Displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Men becoming iron, shining in the night.
All right. Tales of courage and conviction. Men becoming iron, shining in the night. And you know, this is a project I am so happy about. I'm so, you know, when I think about it and the work and the story and the implications, you know, this piece of work, this body of work will be a template for how men should function, should operate.
I love it.
You know, we came up with this description or category of men. We have the brave man who faces the darkest night, the inspired man that knows where he belongs, the empowered man, and the resilient man. Those are all characteristics or attributes that we all should have. But we're addressing it from the perspective of men. We have, and this is all by invitation, by the way. This is by invitation. We have participants from all over the world who are participating in this project.
Wow.
Yeah, so very excited. But the most exciting thing we have going on right now is our special guest. So let's bring her on, Donna, in a collision with purpose time. It's all about purpose. Bring her on, please.
So you want me to bring her on, or you want me to just give you a quick synopsis of who we
Quick
have?
Quick synopsis. We don't want to take away her story from her because we want her to tell it.
I'm not going to take away her story, but I'm telling you, the this special guest that we have that's coming on is no ordinary person. That's all I'm gonna say. And she is none other than Tamara Gammon, she's an internationally renowned artist. I mean, she has been in Times Square. She has David's Bridal. So this is not anyone who is ordinary, right? She is very renowned, and I cannot wait for her to even give us more information about her work, how to get in touch with her. I mean, just the whole gamut, right? So
before you go there, the best part is she's here in Atlanta with us.
And she's Jamaican.
Oh my goodness, all of that. So bring her on now. I can't wait anymore. Bring her on. Let's do it. Let's do it. You bring her. You bring her. You bring her on. You bring her on. And there she is.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ooh, with that introduction, I have to wonder who you're introducing at this point. I'm like, hold on, is that me? So, one of my favorite quotes is, "Heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by certain flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night." Oh. So this journey that I have been on for the last 11 years and 6 years professional as an artist has been something that I have been very proud of, and I have gone through. Many people did not see the first part of the journey. All this is what you see now. So that was something that I have always treasured and has made me the indelible person that I am. And talking about sharpening the iron, it's very important that we sharpen each other's iron. And going through, so I think both of your books are talking about me. I was like, hold on, did you know about me before? So that was one of my things. As you said, I'm born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. Went to Wolmer's High School for Girls. I'm a proud Wolmerian. So Agate Colleges for those Wolmerians who are listening now. All right. And I went to school in Miami, Florida. Went to Florida International University. And then graduate school at Keller Graduate School of Management. I'm a proud educator. I still do education. I'm a trainer. And of course, why you're here today is because I'm an artist and a designer. And I wear many hats. Normally I'm in a hat, but today purposely I chose not to wear a hat.
Wow. And we want to hear everything. Because something tells me that whatever happened early in your life led you to where you are now. So just for perspective, all of it is important, right? It
is very important. It has formed to be the woman I am, the person who sits in front of you. So like Donna was saying earlier, I was told artists don't make money. There is no reason for you to go into art because your art is going to sit there. You're going to be begging on the side of the street. And I chose to take my corporate background. So as I said before, I'm a former teacher. I'm a former principal, director of missions for universities. And I became a CEO and a CFO for a nonprofit organization. So I use that business acumen, which we go back to, actually, my business acumen started in high school. My mother sold jewelry and clothes back in the day in Jamaica. When you went abroad, you brought back. And that my entrepreneurship spirit was built then. I went to a high school where excellence was the only thing that you could produce. And they drove us through art, through education, to be the best that we could be at anything that we did. So it says, whatever you do, do to your best of your ability. And that has been long-standing for me. I have the privilege of being raised with my grandmothers. My grandmothers didn't raise me, but I would visit them on the weekends. My grandmothers were educators, and they themselves believed in the power of education. So I knew how important it was. But my grandfather was a horticulturalist, and he was a Dembe winner. For those of you who don't know, in Jamaica, going to Dembe, having all that. So his artwork, which was his flowers, his fruits, all these decorations that he did, he was known for that. So his name was Laxley Gammon, and my grandmother's Pearl Gammon. And they were stellar people in their community. They're in Havendale, and we grew up going to my grandparents' home. So I was able to see both of them living in a symbiotic relationship, where he was the person who was very hands-on, and she was the book knowledge. And I said, at that point in time, I knew I had to use my left and my right brain. So it's funny, I want to be an accountant when my mother told me I couldn't become an artist nor a hairdresser, I wanted to become an accountant. And then I met a wonderful teacher while I was at FIU, Florida International University, who was teaching film. So I studied film and studied English while I was at FIU, and eventually I became an English teacher and a drama teacher. So I took all that. I was making costumes when my students were performing, and that became my love of fashion. But fashion, I guess, started when my mother would used to make my clothes for me. I tell most people that my mom, if I told my mom of something a week in advance, she could make it for me, whatever it was. So I didn't have to wait on something to come. She was there and she's going to create something that was unique just for me, and it fit me perfectly. And I think so I think I've taken that in itself, and whether I'm repurposing an item or I'm upcycling an item or I'm creating a new fashion, I always think back to my mother being there at the sewing machine, creating something for me. My grandmother Clover, she's also very innovative in what she does. She had 5 children and she had to sometimes sew the clothes and put it together. And I think seeing that in real life gave me the understanding that you have to turn your hand and make fashion, as Jamaicans say. You have to be very resourceful in what you're doing. And it has led me now to even pivot with my fashion design and going back to repurposing and understanding that upcycling and the zero waste initiative, and I'll talk later about that, but adapting this zero waste initiative where we're using repurposed and restyled clothes to be something that you see now. So we're helping the environment in whatever way that we can. And so I've taken all those little nuggets along my life as we've created this pathway, if you will. The original company I have, which is the parent company to K. Alexander, is actually called 3 Dream Designs. So I have 3 amazing young men who are my sons. The twins are about to turn 20. And my very industrious 15-year-old who's about to turn 16 was recently promoted to staff sergeant or whatever within the ROTC. I was a cadet when I was in high school. So it's just this lineage that we put together, and you see your children seeing what you're doing. You just never know the importance of who is watching and what you're doing and how that can resonate with people and with your children. With me, being the child and a product of 2 bankers who are artists who did not practice art. Both my parents are very artistic, and they chose not because they didn't want to, but because of necessity. And many times, just as Ms. Thompson said earlier, we've gone into this shadow and we've had to do these things in order to make a living, of course, but sometimes it's fear. And we talk about fear being that thing that holds us back from fortune, from your future, or so much more. So what I did was to turn my passion into purpose and then into profits. And we've created what is K. Alexander Galleries, which now is the home of 27 international artists, in addition to myself, and a community-based gallery. And this came about from not being able, yes, Romaine.
I just picked up this piece here from Tamara. So part of the work, because she's supporting other artists as well. Nice. Yeah, so just wanted to show that her work is not just about her.
No, far from it.
Yeah, not just about her. So yeah,
far from it. And I think growing up in a community and understanding what community meant was why we decided to form K. Alexander Galleries. We had gone, as for me as an individual, or other artists would often complain that they can't get into these big galleries around Atlanta, around the world in general. And I wanted to give artists a home where they could come, that they didn't have to pay these excessive fees. And I understand that fees are necessary, but we are more of a community-based gallery. So we don't charge the 50 and 60% commission. We don't charge that. If we're placing your work we charge $65 if we're creating a show for you, or $100 depending on, and that just covers our overall fees of us finding the mechanics to actually hang things and going through that. But we have given the home now to all of these artists, and they have been able to showcase their work as Romaine on an international level in a whole different city. She's based in Jamaica, but her work is here in Atlanta, and we've been able to sell her work here We have some artists coming in from Nairobi, from Kenya. We are importing more.
Wow.
So we are truly an international gallery here in Atlanta. We're based in Gwinnett County, and we want to make sure that our community understands the value of art. And we're not talking about the fiscal value of art, but we know how it's important for a child to see real art in a home because they get something to dream about. And it's not just becoming the artist, it's the things that are tied, intrinsic things that are tied to art in itself. It's the conversation that happens with art. It's the tools that are used. It's the materials that are used. How do we stop and introduce life, which is through art? Because art is one thing that is across the nation or across the world that is understood. You don't have to know the language. There is no language barrier within art. So somebody will see something different, will sometimes feel, because I do very textured pieces. So people who are visually impaired can also enjoy my artwork. So that's what it is. So as a former educator and the mom of a special needs child, I realized it was very important for me to have work that people with disabilities can also appreciate and they can be involved with. So I know it's a long story about who I am and where
it's a long, great story. You know, I don't have any more questions. You answered everything.
I just can't wait.
That's joking. But great story. Thoroughly enjoyed listening to you. And Donna, I know that you earlier in your life. Why don't you share your story and talk to our guests?
Yeah, sure. So I so like your story so resonate with me because I remember, I grew up in Jamaica, right? I'm Jamaican, and I went to St. Hughes High School. But going to school, that was like my passion was drawing, and the same conversation was, oh, you're never gonna make any money doing that. You can't make money doing that. You need to be a doctor or a lawyer. Yes, that's what you need to be. And and even when I migrated here, I still continued with my art up until in high school. And then after that, it's like I just got diverted into, I don't even know what. You have to go to, no, I'm being honest, I don't even know. You have to go to college, you gotta, do XYZ. And so do all these things of going to college, getting the degree and all that stuff. And then ended up in the healthcare field, which that's where I'm pretty much home base is the healthcare industry. Only to come back to realize that, you know what, I love art. Like whenever I'm creating, it's when like I feel, my creative juices, it's going. And realizing that, after all these years, I still enjoy creating and creating those things. The only thing that for me, I feel like I've lost is really putting the pen to paper or the paint to the paper is what I feel like I
lose it. It's muscle memory.
But it's like when I go to Hobby Lobby or something, like the first place I'm drawn to is where the paint is where the brushes are, is where the canvas is. And I will just buy stuff and for no reason.
and you have to paint. And it's self-care to paint. It's awareness as well. Because many times what people don't understand at art is therapy. That whatever you're going through, you can paint it out. You can draw it, whatever it is. And listen, everybody is an artist. And I don't want anybody to think that, oh, I'm not an artist. There are skills that you have, just like with everything else, like riding a bicycle, it's muscle memory. But you have to practice and you have to give yourself grace. It's a big part of being an artist, is that there's no mistake in art, right? And understanding that you have to give yourself grace. And comparison is also the thief of joy. Don't compare yourself to somebody else's work who has been painting nonstop for 7 days a week for the last 11 years of their life. You can't compare. Just as you can't compare patient to patient in your case. So you have to be also very self-aware that you need that outpouring Because when you put that creative side, and there's a balance, because you have to have a balance, right, in your life. Just like we talked about physical endurance and going through and getting that physical activity, there also has to be a mental release or emotional release that happens too. And oftentimes that is through art. So you have to allow yourself, whether it just be a little sketchbook, whether it be ink to paper, drawing those ink blots, as you know in psychology, is very important. But just do it. Don't think about what it's going to look like. I don't plan my paintings, and that's because I have to allow myself, when I'm in whatever space I'm in, apart from commissions, allow myself to paint and allow whatever's within me and that's going on at that time to transfer that to canvas. And sometimes that's when my best work happens, is when I allow myself the freedom to explore techniques, explore color. So don't be afraid. Get your hands dirty. If you want gloves, if you're scared of getting your hand painting your fingers, put on a pair of gloves and play with the paint. See what happens in that. And I guarantee you, you will feel the endorphins that will happen, and your body will relax immediately once you get that done. So,
I'm listening to both of you. And do you take on students?
I do.
Donna, there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna ask her that, because I'm thinking about my son.
Yes, and I do group sessions so people to come in and just talk it through, walk it through, and we get things. Even artists themselves who are beginner artists or intermediate artists, I still work with them, because sometimes it takes that, not constructive but direction, somebody to be redirected, as we do with everything else in life. That redirection happens, and you can transform a painting that was not valuable, if you will, into a very valuable piece just by changing the direction or the application of certain things.
Right.
Happens over time. I'm a self-taught artist, and that's, I think, one of the biggest things I forgot to say. I'm a self-taught artist, a self-taught designer. Everything has been self-taught. But I think once you create and you have an aptitude for certain things, you can learn anything that you want to. So that transition from healthcare, those same tenets that you've learned going through, whether you did nursing through an NCLEX or whatever, you apply the same concepts to art. So going through everything else. So that's what people need to understand, and don't overthink it. I think many times people overthink the creation of art and what the material is or whatever they need to focus on, and then they lose the passion. And going back to that again, you have to be passionate. If you don't get up and you don't say, I gotta paint today, I just gotta get it in, then it's maybe not the right place for you sometimes. You have to want it. And even if you don't make any money, and trust me, you're not gonna make money automatically. Some people go viral because of certain things, and then they can't sustain it because it wasn't truly who they were.
Right.
So you just have to find that within and understand, is where am I, what do I need to do, and create a plan. It's also very important to be very strategic in your art career. And I think that business acumen was why we started the gallery, and we're able to bring in so many artists, because they understood that we had the business acumen. My business partner is more of the operations, even though I can do it as well, but we can do it together in the partnership we've created to have it.
Yeah. So I'm glad you touched on that, because that is really what my question is. How do you actually balance the creative element, the creative aspects of, you're an artist, you're painting, and then you also run a gallery with the business side of things? Because that, you hear of artists, they're doing great work, but they're not being able to get it out there. How do you do it?
I use Google Calendar. My life revolves around a Google Calendar. If I have to take my boys to the barber, it's on my business Google Calendar. Everything is on there. And I think having that strategic plan, having your quarters planned out, I tell people I operate the business as a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm not making a multi-billion dollars, but you have to have that same plan and focus your business as you would as any other corporation does. So, and delegation is very important. So there's certain tasks that I don't take on, that Harlan, who's my business partner, he will take on those tasks. I may go in and I may speak to an organization that wants artwork. I may go in, explain to them what we do, but he handles the contracts. I step away from that. And you have to learn to have people you can trust in the business. You need to create an action plan And an action plan is SMART goals. So you have 5 attainable and achievable goals that you put together on those things, and treat it again as you would. So for me, from an HR and operations standpoint, I create boxes, and we call it the 9 box. And it's which artists are operating at the highest peak, they get to go into this area, and you kind of work with them. But you're training the artists as you go through it as well, because you are only as good as your artists are. You are only as a gallery, and that's what I have to take off my hat. Because like this week, I don't operate as an artist this week. I am completely in gallery mode since yesterday. We appeared yesterday at the Democratic Convention fundraiser, and the gallery was there. We went and did another meeting, the gallery was there. Now we have name tags. Name tags are very important. These are things that most multi-billion-dollar companies, they're branded, and we try and be branded as much as we can, because we want that excellence, if you will, to carry on in everything that we do. That when somebody sees a production by K. Alexander Galleries, they know what they're getting. And so it means that it's lots of late nights that happen. As you say, I'm always running because I kind of have to do that. I'm a caregiver for my special needs son. I have a young son who is involved in everything under the sun and the moon. So I have to be a parent as well. But it is all about planning. So, but I've taken time, though. I've blocked off my calendar for very important things where I will not be available to people. And sometimes you have to be unavailable.
Right.
You have to say, this is not my time. And you have to, Stephen Covey and Franklin Covey teaches something called big rocks first. And you have to understand priorities and put your big rocks in first. And then you can put everything else in. But you have to understand as a business what's most important and who is most important. And it talks about internal and external customer service. I have internal customer service where I touch base with my artists, making sure they're good, but also with my collectors. How is everything going? Is there anything else we can do? And also doing business to business partnerships. How do we bring that in and help our artists grow and introduce them to new avenues, new people, new prospects, and things like that?
So you've been seen all the way in Liberia. So, good to see that. Thanks, Matthew, for joining us. Thanks, Jackie, and in Florida.
Yes.
And elsewhere, I'm sure. So thanks for joining us in the spotlight. The home, as Donna would call it, raw and filtered information. And today we're having a conversation with Tamara, and she's telling us how it's done. She's showing us, talking to us, not just about art, but the business side of it. Because too many individuals are just caught up in producing the work. It's the other piece that is so critical. So essential, so essential. So we really appreciate you sharing all that good stuff with us. Great conversation, and you came here ready to lay it out, and that's exactly what you're doing. We're looking forward to having you at our event in February, where we'll be honoring you, and anyone listening will get it and understand why we're honoring you at that event. Based on what you're half an hour with us so far. What a story. What but I do have a question that. How do you're working with artists from all over the place, people coming in from Nairobi, you work with people from Jamaica. How do you know which ones you should work with? How do you know which ones are suitable or a good fit for your gallery?
Well, I look at their work. I have them submit a portfolio. I also have a call with them, which is very different. And then I have a group call as well. So we do our process are very different than traditional galleries would. And I want to make sure that whoever was coming into gallery with people that we can trust, because trust is very important, right? We know that this is their work. So I research them way before I even allow them to come in to submit their work from behind the scenes. Many of them are done through referrals. I've seen different things from them because referrals are very important. In sales, we say that referrals close 50% higher than any other avenue that comes in. And we use that same closure rate when we're talking about artists coming into the gallery. And so we make sure that we vet them coming in. We're making sure that they have what it needs. And when we have a conversation, that they're asking me the right questions, right? And so those questions are, how long is my work going to be on display? How often, or what's the percentage that you will be paid? And having those, and we're teaching them that not only when they speak to us within the gallery, but when they speak to other galleries, these are the questions they need to ask. And so we also want to make sure that we have varied and very, not the same style of artwork. So as you can see, if you go onto our website on tamaragammon.com, the artists who are up there now, and we're actually, tonight after the show, we're going to load on some new artists. So 9/9 was our day to load on some new artwork, some new dresses, some different things. But we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to showcase. And that's why we have these solo shows. And they have 1 month to be featured as a solo artist, which does not happen in traditional galleries unless you're very high level, you're a student with certain things. And so we want to level the playing field. And those people who are very talented but don't have the business acumen, they don't understand marketing, we're helping them to break into those barriers and showing them how it's done. So we curate the show for them. I go and actually physically curate the shows with them, showing them how I choose the artwork when I'm actually displaying it, show them the levels that I hang the artwork, different things like that, and why I do it. And I think my years of being an artist myself has allowed me to see things that I wanted to do and not do within our gallery, and understanding that we wanted to take the hassle, if you will, out of displaying artwork, out of selling artwork. And so we partner in a very non-traditional, and I keep saying the word non-traditional because we're nothing traditional in any way, shape, or form. Because I myself, I am the artist, I am the curator, the owner, the everything. And so I am having my hand into mold. And it's not that I'm in the pot like that, it's to mold what it is that we want to see, right? And so when we have our events, or they're community-based events, again, people are coming in, we have different things going in. We have other artisans who are there. So people who are creating soaps that have specific colors and different things that, so we have to give themes. So on October 19th, we have the Fusion Art Show coming on. And the Fusion Art Show is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, in addition to celebrating breast cancer awareness, as well as there are other disabilities that will be celebrated. And we're also celebrating our authors. So we want for people to be able to see, smell, taste. We have Jamaican food, Hispanic food there. We have different things. So all your senses should be heightened at this event that we're putting on. And so we've gotten work, again, from all over the world that we'll be displaying during our Fusion show. So to answer your question, the simple question is that we vet them. We make sure that we go through and we see what kind of artwork we see. Are they willing to send artwork? And understanding that in a timely manner, because timing is very important. Because if you miss one deadline, it throws off everything else that we're doing.
Of course.
And people have to understand that. And many times artists don't understand that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the deadline is next week, Tuesday. Oh, Thursday. Hey, I forgot the deadline. I'm like, sorry, we're closed.
Or I have time, man. We have time.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Check-ins, yeah. So just like with my staff, when I was at the university, I would give them check-ins. Hey, we're at a 2-week check-in. Hey, we're at the 1-week check-in. Where are we? And getting a temperature check, if you will. So I know, can I count on this person to truly have a solo show? Will they have the 7 pieces ready and finished? Because we want to make sure. You see how Romaine's artwork is done? It's framed, it's sealed, her name is there, everything is done, ready to go. Because we want, when we transfer artwork to a client, they just put it on the wall. There's nothing that they have to do unless they decide that they want to add something to it. And that's where we want consistency. Sometimes it doesn't have to be framed, but it has to be wired. And we want to make sure that we're having that be the focus, that as an artist, that's the expectation that we have. And the consistency is key.
It's interesting how we connected with you, because Romaine is in our book, Purpose, In Pursuit of Purpose. Her story is in that book. We interviewed her, and quite a story, I should say. And so we're talking, and I got a text from her and said, one of my pieces will be on display, 3 of them on display. Can you go by and check it out? Of course, I was not able to make it because something else was going on. But then a friend was there and made it possible, and I was able to get this space, and because we just wanted to support her, as we all should be supporting, where we supporting our friends who are in the business, right?
Yes.
Or in the business of creating and being creative. We got to get in there and support them as much as we can. Now, you're doing a show on October 19th. What time is that show?
That is going to be from 12 to 4. And then on October 20th, we're going to have a repurpose fashion expose that we're going to do. So we're looking for some repurpose fashion designers to come and be a part of that as well. We will still have the artwork there, but we'll have a special focus on the 20th on fashion and repurposing and the zero waste. So
now I wanted to know, because we're having an event on the 19th. So if we wanted to participate and come by, we wouldn't be able to do it on the 19th. Yeah. We're having an event around that time. That's why I wanted that clarification. But of course, on the 20th, how frequent are your shows? How often do you have shows?
Not only every quarter, but we're approaching the holiday season, and we have multiple locations. So now with the holiday season come upon us, we will have shows at different locations every 2 to 3 weeks. So if somebody can't make it to one, they can come see it at another location. And we will update our website tomorrow to show all the new dates that we have added, because we added one today. So we will update everything. So you'll be able to see that on tamaragammon.com. Go there. That's where you're up to date on our events, our artists. We're adding our new artists and artisans to the website. And that's one thing I want to also be clear, that we have our artwork, yes, traditional artwork, but we're now also bringing on our authors. So we have an author, Ms. Tamara Anderson, who is a bilingual author who has a book that she has put out, and she will be reading at our event on the 19th and reading to our bilingual community. So we are not only having that, we want to, again, not being traditional, we want to have all of the arts under the same umbrella. So I was to a person who is an actress, a very popular Jamaican actress. I won't say anything else about that right now. But we are trying to bring drama to and the performing arts and everything else to Atlanta, because we don't have enough of that, enough dance and of what we are used to. So we're having pantomime in December. From November to December, I will be hosting several pantomime events. And for those who don't know, pantomime is a celebration that happens during Christmas time. And so we will be incorporating all of the arts during that time.
Great vision you're working with there. Really love it.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely.
Full integration, right? Full integration.
Because that's how we are. As Jamaicans, we are multifaceted, and we operate in different lenses, and you have to have that broad spectrum, right? You can't just say, okay, this is all I'm going to do. So we want the arts, all of the arts, to be infused, especially during the holiday times in Jamaica. We know that's when people are dancing, people are creating costumes. That's where Carnival came from, all of that stuff that we've done. And we will celebrate our heritage as Jamaicans from the Caribbean diaspora as well, because it won't just be Jamaicans, because other Caribbean nations celebrate. We have a heavy Guyanese population in our gallery. We have 3 Guyanese artists. We will add 2 more in the new year. So we are bringing people in from other countries, Caribbean islands, trying to make sure that we infuse the arts into Atlanta and hopefully across the world by 2027.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We're having a conversation in the spotlight with Tamara Gammon from K. Alexander Galleries, having quite a spirited, awesome conversation. And when we come back, we're going to show some of your pieces, and we want you to talk us through them. All right?
Sure.
So we're going to take an on-screen break and play another video on screen.
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I put put on my armor, and I read his word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying his presence wherever he sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as he told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, he is in me. I am a bold kid, he loves me, standing firm on his word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because he is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor, and I let his word blessing come out of my mouth. Because I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying his presence wherever he sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
How about that? I'm a bold kid. Donna, you're a bold kid?
I'm trying to be.
Tamara, you're a bold kid?
I am.
I'm a bold kid. Fearlessly built, right?
Oh my goodness.
And wonderfully built as well. Fearless and
Wonderfully built, right? So that's actually my daughters, that's their line.
Oh,
And
wow.
those are coming on board real soon. They collision with purpose. And there will be books, there will be, just name it, all kinds of stuff coming there with that. So that's another thing that's happening at the collision with purpose. So we get everyone involved, young, old, and not so, we get everybody involved because purpose is not, we don't own purpose, do we?
Absolutely. We don't.
We don't own purpose, right, Donna? We don't own purpose.
Not at all.
So,
Collaboration again across the board. We need to be able to showcase that. And I think it's very interesting and we're innovative to have young people be in the arts and understand the importance of entrepreneurship, of having all this together and putting a product out there and being able to showcase who you are. I'm proud of that. So being bold and fearless is an amazing attribute to have.
I want to say thanks to Mr. Garfield McCook, one of our frequent co-hosts. He's online. He just gave you a thumbs up. He's a bold kid as well.
I know him well.
You know him very well. That's our buddy right there. A good friend of this. He's a member, A Collision with Purpose, and everything. All the businesses that we're in, whether it's our nonprofit agency, Global Humanity Network, where we do awesome work all over the world, another global operation, and JITS. And there he is. Let's put him on the screen.
Yes.
Let's put him on the screen. Thanks, Mr. Garfield, for watching GIFs himself.
Yes.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you always. All right, so let's get to it. We're gonna, because we're talking. Let's show. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna bring it up, and then you can talk us through it. All right. So we'll start here.
So this dress is actually made of wood and coconut shells. So the bottom part of that is actually coconut shells. And I don't know, Ms. Thompson, when you were growing up, remember us doing paper dolls, and we didn't have really to make paper dolls. So in this case, I made a wooden doll that we could put on, and this also represents our armor as we will, as women, as we protect ourselves, but also as we change and we grow, and just the diversity of who we are as, again, from the Caribbean diaspora. So those are coconut shells, wooden shavings, again, talking about repurpose and zero waste. This was a part of what that would be.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
It's 5 feet.
5.
Yes. 5 feet.
So someone said this to me, that it's very normal to come to the gallery when you're doing a show and for you to just get up there and just start painting and finish a piece.
Why is Mr. McCook telling my business? Yes.
That's norm. That's the norm. You'll get in there and just zone in, and before it's all said and done, it's a complete piece.
I am known for being a live artist. I'm one of the only people who paint live in stores and different installations. So one of the things that differentiates me from other artists and other gallery owners too is that yes, I do paint live, and within 20 to 30 minutes you'll have a full painting with the person and everything else, or whatever it is I'm painting being shown. This piece is Pride Indelible. So this talks about the pride that we have. We're our indigenous people within Jamaica, the Caribs, the Arawaks. Many people don't know that in Jamaica that we do have a very large population of Arawaks and Caribs and the Mayans. So this is also what we talk about across the Caribbean diaspora, that we have things and that people don't understand. They think that all Jamaicans look a certain way, and this is what it is. So this piece, again, is a repurposed, it's a traditional canvas, a 48 by 60 painting that represents who we are. And Carnival was born from this, to talk about the dressing up and the rituals that they did. And so introduction of Carnival and why it is important, and pantomime again. And this piece was on display at the Lilburn Activity Building during our spring soiree that we did, and just talking about how we can express ourselves. To the right is one of my artists who's also, you can barely see it, you can see it with the traditional piece from an African tribe and the symbolism that had for her. So we are very varied in what we produce and showcase.
Wow. If let's say someone is watching out there and they want to make a purchase right now,
yes,
how can they do that? Is there a way you can post a link in the private channel? We can post that.
Sure. It's just the website tamaragammon.com. Let me see.
Okay, let's get that out there, because we need to put that out there.
Yes. Let me see.
Because and while you're doing that, we're going to move it to the next piece.
Sure.
Yep.
Oops.
Here we go. Oh.
You got it?
Mm.
So this, I gotta go back to seeing you here. I think so this piece itself, as you can see, the hats that are there as well. This is a whole collection that came about, and this is one of the styles, again, talking about our African heritage and also a very Cuban heritage in a sense. I do have Cuban family as well. So this style of artwork is something that you would traditionally see with colors, the vibrancy, everything else that is not just Caribbean, it is African, it is so much more than that. So we did the trays, the serving trays that went along with it. I have a whole bag line, it's called a Phoenix bag line. And then we have the hat line, which is Trace hats, which I'm known for my hats. It just became one of those things that people always saw me, and they saw me wearing a hat. And so this is symbolic of an entire collection, if you will, putting that together. For me, I love when people can sit there for an hour and look and try and pick out different parts of a painting, because there's so much going on, but depending on where you are in that space, you can look and see a multitude of things. And to each person, you can change the profile of the picture. That's one of the things too, that some of the pictures I paint, you can also change the profile, whether it be landscape or portrait, however you choose to view it.
All right, so these and other pieces are available at tamaragammon.com, and very easy to make the purchase. Just click on the link and you're right there. And when you get to that website, you'll be just blown away. There's so many. The only challenges you will have is, which one should I buy?
Which one? The hats have to order. Every time we do these hats, we end up selling out on them. So we are going to try and launch them tonight, where people can pre-order these hats and they can be customized. So that's a great thing about the hats, is that they can be customized. And so we will be going to that. Our purses too will come on in October. We'll release the entire line October 19th, so people can see, because we will bring out our dresses as well as our hats. We'll have shoes too. We do shoes. So everything you can think of will be hand painted.
Whole lineup.
Whole lineup. 120 products is what I create. 120 different products.
And this is a piece right here.
So this, so I one of the 120 products that we do, and the clocks are pretty reasonable. They're from $55 to $65. So for somebody who can't afford a original piece of artwork, they can purchase a clock, and it's a functioning clock. All you need to put is a double battery in the back of it. But these, and they come in several varied designs. There are actually 50 designs that these will come in, and we'll have those available, so they'll see them tonight as well. So we'll go and load these up. But this is just, you know, the whole Parisian thing. Paris was happening not only for the Olympics, but in general. Paris is also a symbolism for fashion, and who that transcends color, race, creed, and everything else. And I think this woman herself just was a part of that, and explaining just a fashionista. We have New York Fashion Week just happened as well. We have Atlanta Fashion Week coming up in about 2-3 weeks. So this was just my homage to fashion.
Thank you, Tremaine, for joining us. Tremaine is my daughter, and she's one of the creators behind the Bold Kids. She gave you a thumbs up.
Thank you.
For all that wonderful stuff. And I know she'll probably visit your gallery. She'll probably visit your gallery. So let's continue. All right, this something right here. I am enough. This got my attention.
This is very important. This goes back to the Crown Act and how important it is that we can wear our hair however we choose to. And having our hair in locks or curly does not mean that we're unprofessional. Having our hair be colored or whoever does not denote that we are not professional, nor are we courteous in how we present ourselves. So this is saying, I'm going to show up authentically who I am, unapologetic about who I am, and I am enough. There is nothing else that needs to happen. I am going to be here, and I'm going to be bold enough to say, I am woman, hear me roar.
Donna, it sounds like it's bringing you back to shadows, right?
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, yeah, it definitely caught my attention.
Yes, yes.
Did.
And
wow.
We have black, we have white rings, we have different, and we can change up the colors. So if somebody contacted me, if they go onto the website and they don't see something, they can always email us at info@3dreamdesigns.com, and I'll put that in the chat. But they can always email us and ask us to customize something for them. Let's say Miss Donna wanted to have her name put into this clock, and it's something that she is focusing on and talking about, that resilience and all those different things. We can customize it for you. And that's one of the things that we don't charge a customization fee, just because we want to have happy customers, right? So we charge the traditional fee that we have for it, and then we produce it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So Tamara, we you know, on our platform we have quite an international viewership, right? Audience. Mm-hmm. So it is very likely that come tomorrow, someone in Europe, someone in Kenya, someone in other places in Africa will be watching this replay. And what if they, if they want to make an order, how you put in the order and then you ship it off to them? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's shipped internationally, so we ship around the world.
Ship around the world.
Mm-hmm. Ship around the world. So if when they go onto the platform, they don't see their country for whatever reason, or it doesn't allow them based on the shipping profile that we currently have, mm-hmm. all they have to do is just email us, and there's an email link on our website, and it will go directly to our email. Harlan or myself will review that email, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours with a solution.
Okay, with a solution. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Donna, you've seen a few pieces. Which one is your favorite one? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Where's my? I love this this clock here. I am. Mm-hmm. But you know, I'm going to tell you something. The one that the other one that caught my attention was, no, not that one. Go back. No, keep going. That caught my attention.
That one?
Not the dress. The first piece.
The other one. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite ones, and I think I don't bring it out. We've only shown it in person once. And for me, and you have to look at it in person to see the texture on it. It is so heavily textured. It has the adornments. It's actually gold leaves that you see on the headpiece there. But it's also so many different things going on in it. And again, seeing it in person, you'll understand. But it's also a very part of my heritage, as who I am. Jamaican coming, and people don't understand. We're out of many one people. So this in itself, you get it. So it's a 48 by 60, so it's a pretty large painting.
Big piece.
Yes, it's a 48 by 60 painting.
Big piece. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. Great work. Just, and shows are coming up. You said you have them quarterly. That's the frequency. Yeah. The next one is October 19th.
October 19th, but for the holiday season, we'll start having them bi-weekly. They're in different locations, though. They'll be in different locations. Yes.
Where is your gallery located? Your permanent gallery?
In Lilburn. So in Lilburn, at the Lilburn Activity Building. So you can go there Monday through Friday from 11 to 8. On Fridays, it's open from 10 to 4. And then on Saturdays until 2, unless we have any events that are going on. So it's always man that's there. But if you need to meet us there, if it's a special request, again, just email us and we'll be happy to do that. And then we're also at the historic courthouse in Gwinnett come October 30th. We resume that. We will be at the Lucky Shoals building in Gwinnett County. We are also at the Commerce Club in Atlanta on Peachtree next to the Crown Plaza. I'm sorry, not Crown Plaza. Oh, my brain just left me. Ritz-Carlton, next to the Ritz-Carlton. We are on the 49th floor of the Peachtree building, 191 Peachtree Street. We are also in the Breakfast Boys Club. So we have 10 different locations that we're actually in and our artwork is shown in.
You're very accessible. You're everywhere. you bring it to the customers, to the market.
And that was one of the main things that we wanted to do, was have this community where the community could go in and see real gallery style work. It's hung in the gallery, on gallery hanging system, on professional hanging system, everything, where people would not be able to access it normally if they were in these more elite neighborhoods. So we bring it to the community. So that's a big part of what we do while we're in community buildings or in accessible buildings. And we do have high-end buildings too, that we have different clientele there. But we want to make sure across the board we level the playing field, that everybody has access to real art and can see real art and can meet the artist. One of the things that's also very important, very different for me too, is that you can come in and meet artists. And I will tell most times if I'm at the mic, is I'm introducing the artists and they get to talk about their art. Because we are very passionate people as artists, and we want to make sure that people hear about us, hear about the work that we're producing, and why. What is the why behind all of this? So,
you said something there, the why. Talk a little bit more about the why.
For me, the why, again, is my 3 sons, leaving a legacy for my children. The gallery is named K. Alexander because of my twin boys. One is Kimari and the other one is Kali, but Kali's middle name is Alexander. So we did K. Alexander. Kali is a special needs child. He has cerebral palsy. He's hearing impaired. He has chronic lung disease, but he has overcome every obstacle that has been put in front of him. So his resilience keeps me going, and that's my why. Somebody told me my sons would never survive 2 weeks. If they made it to 2 years, they would never walk, they'd never talk. They were born at 26 weeks. They were premature boys. And back then in 2004, boys' survival rate was very low, especially with what they call a grade 4 IVH, bleeds are bleeding their brain. So I had to understand and become a medical professional, if you will, understanding the schematics and the verbiage that was being used. Because many times as parents, when we have premature children, people talk down to us and tell us that there's no hope and prepare yourself for the worst. And so when they graduated from high school, I started to say I need to transition this business from 3 Dream Design, which is still our parent company. We still operate 3 Dream. But K. Alexander Galleries was an opportunity for people from all walks of life, from all disabilities and abilities, to be a part of something greater than themselves. And in doing so, I left and hopefully leave an indelible mark on society and for something that is for my children, and especially for Klee, so he can go and live on. And even when my time has been called, that there will be something that has his name, has our name, and we can go on.
Well, I tell you, for me, you left an indelible mark on me tonight. And so will anyone who will be listening to you talk. And, you know, when you talk about someone telling you about your son, what source of inspiration that must have been for you.
Yes.
You know, they're telling you something that from their perspective is negative, and how you turn that. You know, talk about resilience. You sound like you should be in Becoming Iron in that book. Unfortunately, it's only for men. It's only for men.
I don't know how many times a month I hear, when is the book coming out? And I said, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to tell my story.
No.
I know. Just reading the book and in itself, right?
But it was a little bit of a joke, because that book is for men only in Becoming Iron.
But that's okay.
But your story of courage and conviction it's perfectly aligned. It would be a good fit. But Donna won't let me do that. Donna won't let me do that. Donna's gonna stay with the purpose, right? So, but awesome. But your story was an amazing story for Shadows.
The story continues. You know, they graduated from high school. They're pulling themselves together and doing what they need to do, and that was my main focus. You know, for the 18 years, I committed my life to making sure that we disprove people, because you know they are practicing medicine. I'm living medicine, because my child, all the odds that they put against him, he has survived them. Everything that they said he wouldn't do, he did. He graduated high school with a regular high school diploma, did everything that he wants to do. He walked across the stage, even though it was a walker, he walked across that stage when he graduated from high school. And so I have been the physical therapist, the occupational therapist, the speech therapist, because he's hearing impaired. And people most times don't even know that, because I don't make it seem as if it's a badge of honor versus a burden in itself, because I have conversations with him about the gallery. He's the one who types up the artist bios and the different things like that, so he's involved in that. And he has the aptitude to understand that, and he's the sweetest person you ever meet. He's very meek and mild, unless you get him upset, but he's very meek and mild. And so I appreciate my sons, you know, building this business with me. And they will understand and remember, again, the legacy one day that we're building, because the story continues.
Story continues. Donna, you've been listening as we just dive into some of these questions and answers. Jump on in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just like in awe, taking it all in, right? I can't wait to actually honestly meet you in person. I can't wait to meet you in person and actually visit the gallery. I'm quite sure we'll have a whole lot of conversations. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, you know, I know you said that, you know, you do have, like, you're creating this platform for, you know, artists who it's hard for them to get into galleries, right? Some artists are very difficult, and it can be somewhat intimidating for them to get into a gallery. So do you have like a referral system for someone to refer individuals to you? Do they go on the website? Like, how would that process work?
They can go on the website if they choose to, but again, when you go on the website, just click the email and they can refer them. If they have my telephone number, absolutely go ahead and send the information to me and we'll go through that. But I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to help artists understand is seek first to understand, then to be understood, because you have to understand the art business. You have to understand what it takes to walk into a place. And I'm very much solution driven. So when I walk into an organization, I know how many walls they have, I know how many employees they have, what they may need, what is their demographics of who's coming in to see the artwork. There are so many different things. So I've taken that initiative from my business background when I've had to go into organizations and meet with people and show up ready. And a very important thing, you know, artists is like, I'm just going to come in however I feel. And I said, no, because people look at you and your perception is the first thing, the first impression is, yes, it's okay for us to be creative, but sometimes we have to conform a little bit before we get very comfortable, right? So show up in spaces, show up on time for your meetings. If you can't make a meeting, then say, you know what, here is why I can't make the meeting, something has happened. And prioritize, we go back to that. And why is it important for them to get into other spaces? Because I don't want them to always stay with me. I want them to branch out. My goal is for them to grow. I want them to be able to say, I have shown, I now have a body of work. They can now put on their CV and their bio that they have shown a solo show, X amount of group shows, because that adds to the validity of them as an artist. And that's why I'm trying to have them understand that they have to build up the repertoire, if you will. And so this is in essence the different levels of college classes, if you will. You know, the level 1000 classes, and then you have the different pieces of it, and we're going to build them up as we go. And that's why it's important for us to have those conversations with them, the check-ins with them. What do we need to do? And if sometimes they get stuck, how do we help them get unstuck? Right? How do we help them through this understanding of it's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest and come back, right? Because you have to understand, going back to sharpening the saw, you have to sharpen the saw. You have to pull yourself away. So like this week when I'm in business space and I'm not in the creative mindset, this is also me sharpening my saw, but I also need to take a break. So like tomorrow, I need to be away from everything. So tomorrow will be my day off, because I transitioned. Today would have normally been my day off, but I was doing some business today. So tomorrow has to be, because you have to prioritize that. Because if you don't sharpen your saw and you don't get more knowledge about certain things, then you will not excel. And that's what we have to understand in every aspect of our lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Every aspect. You know, listening to your talk, K. Alexander Galleries is not just about art. It's about lifting people up. It's about empowering people, growing people, bringing out the best out of them. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So I think that's awesome. You know, we're talking about living in, you know, a collision with purpose. Our business is all about purpose, as the name would suggest, right? The name would suggest. And it's obvious that you are walking, living in your purpose, and we commend you for that. And so it's, you know, the person that recommended you, that we honor you, was right on point. Donna, would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait for the work to be on display at the colloquium.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, right? Right here, I live in Gwinnett County, so Shiloh is not far from me. So I'm excited to be there at Shiloh and to be a part of it and create something that ties into what you're doing and the great work you're doing. So I commend you all for allowing this platform to be here to help others, because sometimes you just need that one encouragement, you know, that person saying that one thing to nudge you along. Many of my artists will tell you that I am hard on them sometimes because I want them to be great, right? And it's not hard that I'm saying, you need to do this. It's just like, I need this done here. This is what I need it done. And it kind of drives them, even though when they didn't want to be driven, to excel, to succeed. And this is what we want to do. Many of our artists, even though they have been professional artists for many years, have never had a solo show until they came to K. Alexander Galleries. They've been in business for 10 years.
I know that's the huge deal.
And so when I hear that, those things make me feel like I've earned $1 million. People are just like, you're charging $65? Yeah, that's what people can afford, because I want them to buy supplies so they can make money, right? So sometimes I've operated in the red. To be very honest with you, I've operated in the red. But those artists, when I see that they've sold a painting, that they're doing the things that they need to do, that's $1 million for me. That's what it is. Because in the long run, it will all balance out. But I know I'm investing everything literally and figuratively into this business because I believe so much in the artists that we bring on board and in the business in itself.
Yeah, we understand that very well. We understand that very well.
That is one thing, you know, like being an artist, it's very costly. It is, yeah, because good supplies, it's very expensive. So really being an artist and doing good work and getting your supplies, it really costs a lot. So for you to actually give individuals a platform that is so inexpensive to showcase their work is just, it's awesome. It's really awesome and amazing.
And we also give supplies too. So if we have an artist who has an upcoming showcase and they don't have the supplies that they need, we have a storage unit that we tell them that's the shop. And they can come in and they can get, we have excess items that they can come in and get, whether it's paint brushes, paint, canvas, whatever it is, different things to go on it, because we have to invest in something that we believe in, right? We can't just say, oh, I believe in you, but there's no investment. There's no fiscal transfer of different things like that. There's sometimes I just said, I can't afford the fee. And I said, okay, well, next time when you get it, just send it to me. And that's what it is. And it's not a matter of I'm trusting thing and everybody I'm going to trust to do this. It's people who are putting in the work. I'm willing to say, okay, here's a sacrifice that we make here. And this is what it, if I went in this for money, trust me, it wouldn't be for money that we went into this community gathering. This was so much more than the gathering, as you said, it is. It's a community space that people can come to feel safe. And we're talking about the artisans who come in, the designers who will come in, the authors, everybody who comes into this space. It's a safe space that they can come into. And we want to make sure that we're helping them in whatever way we can. As I said, we're launching this zero waste and repurposing. If they don't have the dresses to show up to an event, we have the dresses. We have different things so they can feel comfortable in walking in that purpose, right? And they can come and shop, and we'll figure out the rest later.
Right? Figure it out later. Let's take another quick break. Then we'll come back and we have you give us some advice. That person who's out there and is lost in the game, and you'll come back and tell us, and then we'll have closing arguments. So let's take a quick break, and we'll come back.
Dr. Laxley leading the way, go be it. Dr. Laxley, all kind of tales to tell, unearthing secrets where the truth dwells. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's case, navigating the depths of wisdom's maze. Knowledge unfolds in its embrace. We stay with Dr. Laxley. The annals of time, we walk and learn, each fact a treasure at every turn. Dr. Stephenson's voice, calm and profound, when questions need answers, insights are found. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's gaze, navigate the depths of wisdom's laws in every find. In the world of wisdom, where thoughts entwine, skies with Dr. Stephenson.
All right, in the world of wisdom, we're taught what Donna, let's say a little bit about this book. You know, I had a conversation with our editor, and she said she stopped editing and started enjoying. And I'm putting her out there, and because she's done a lot of books, right? She said she's never encountered a book like this, Daily Insights Unveiled. Other people probably hear this, she probably be in trouble, but it's the truth. That's what she told me. She said she's never edited a book like this. It's a book about Donna. It's about meditations, about conversations. I'm writing about hope and positivity. I'm writing about spirituality. I'm writing about forgiveness. And what else we're writing about? If you any page you turn to, you'll find something in there that resonates with you. that is life changing, and that's why we call it what Daily Insights Unveiled, your odyssey to find purpose. And once you, this book will be available, I believe, early December. It's at the editor now.
Mhm.
It's pre-order. So for pre-order, the links, we can put the links out there. But for pre-order, and the colloquium will be built around this book. It will be built around this book. Daily Insights or Unveil Your Odyssey to Find Purpose. In fact, some of the stories will be shared at the colloquium. Donna, you get me caught up with that word colloquium. You have my tongue all tied up. Colloquium. Well, your creativity again. So Donna, just jump in on that before we get back to tomorrow, please.
On Daily Insights?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So just like what Doc said, when you open Daily Insight, there's going to be something in there that definitely resonate with you. And whether it's to spark a thought in your brain to do something different in your life, or just something motivational to get you through the day where you are, it's going to, whatever you're feeling at that particular time during the day, the moment, I guarantee you that when you open that book, there's going to be something in there that's going to speak to you directly in Daily Insights. And I'm excited. So I can't wait for the book to actually be published. And of course, it's going to be at the colloquium, because that will be the book that will be launched at the colloquium, at the event. So definitely individuals, they'll have the opportunity to purchase books. And of course, if you once, not if, but when you purchase your tickets, you will get a copy of the book as well. And of course, it will definitely be autographed by Dr.
And the event, the cost to attend the event is $60, and from that you get a copy of the book with it as well. So I don't know, I'm really excited about this book. Spent many hours. It's a big book, right? It's 75,000 words, but those are the stories in there, and the meditation and the conversations. And when I tell you, really proud about this piece of work. Really, our other book, A Collision with Purpose in Pursuit of Purpose, was an awesome book, and we gotta get you a copy of that tomorrow.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it was a powerful book. Unearthing You, our other book, is just an amazing piece of work. But I'm telling you, this book is going to take you in deep in. After reading this book, you'll need to get Unearthing You to bring whatever it is that you've discovered in you out of you. So yeah, so powerful piece of work there.
I'm looking forward to reading. I think one of the things as I go into this final quarter for the year is that I want to do that, to do some more reading and some more understanding my purpose and getting through that. And I think through reading and rediscovering some things within me and going through that, I think it's very important that we do so.
Yes.
Unearthing You is for you.
Sorry.
So yeah, as Donna is saying, we have Unearthing You, your guide to self-discovery and personal growth. That's another amazing book. Donna is a co-author. I am on there. Both of my daughters. So we do things together, right? You talk about building legacy. That's what we do here. Absolutely. So that's the book for you. Yeah, Unearthing You.
So we'll have to meet up and have to get a copy of those.
It will bring everything that you're capable of doing, who you are, but just can't do it for whatever reason. Just won't come out. This book will bring it all out. Unearthing You. It will literally, it's doing that. It's unearthing you. It is powerful. And we do offer we'll have online workshop. We're building the classes right now, Donna?
Yes.
We're building the classes, and we'll also have a workshop, in-person workshop, and virtual as well. It's a 6-hour workshop, but we also provide support up to 3 months, 6 months, and a year.
Okay.
For the book. So Yeah, big stuff there. Some powerful books, and of course we have Shadows, and you can tell based on the books we do. It's
Yes.
all about making empowering people and bringing the best out of them, right? Becoming Iron, the same thing. Shadows, and we have more coming. We have more coming. We we have so many. Anyway, so let's get back to your work, because your work is purpose driven. It's all about purpose, and it's your purpose. So you know, for that individual who is, I want to become a painter, I want to be an artist, I want to get involved. What is the best advice you can give them?
Start with 15 minutes a day. See if you have the tenacity to consistently paint for 30 days. You say you want to do it, it's just not a hobby, it's work. You have to put in the same 9 to 10 hours that you would in a traditional job. You have to build that muscle memory. The same commitment that you make to a 9 to 5 is some commitment you have to make to your business. It's willing to invest, and we're not talking about money. Is invest in learning and understanding those workshops. And just like you, I do several workshops that I do with organizations. I've been a keynote speaker at other organizations. I come into workshops with groups from 10 to 250 people, coming into workshops for life lessons and go through that, anything from operations management and HR related issues. And of course, going through creating this framework, if you will, for being an artist. But the biggest thing is practice. And practice does not make perfect. People also that it does not make perfect. It makes you build up scabs, and it makes you build up tenacity. It makes you build up that iron sharpens the iron. So that's the biggest thing I would tell them right now. And it also build a portfolio. Once you've done that practicing, then build a portfolio. Put your work together so somebody can go, whether it's to a website or whether it's to your social media, and see the work. Because if they can't see the work, it doesn't exist. If it's not somewhere, it does not exist, right? So they have to put that together and invest in a camera or invest in a website. There are certain things. I tell people there are free websites that they can start off with just 5 products, and I walk them through this as a part of what we do with the business. We also walk them through how to create products, how to create 5 different products. We have that class that we do as well. So there are different opportunities that we can do to help strengthen and bring people to where they fit that purpose.
Michael E. Gerber did a series of books called E-Myth, Entrepreneurial Myth. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his books. And in one of his books, E-Myth Mastery, he talks about passion, purpose, and practice. And how those 3 P's ties in together. The passion is your fuel, the purpose is why you get up tomorrow, and the practice is what you do to get it. Not perfect it, but to get it and work it and become better at it. So it's all you're in pursuit, but you're never there. And maybe you don't want to be there. Because if you want to just continue improving. So he talks about that passion, purpose, and practice. Great book, E-Myth Mastery. I recommend it. I've been reading his books for a long time. All his books. So anyway, so Donna, we don't want to burn Tamara.
Right. I know we have to do our final thoughts, and I know we have to wrap up real quick, but I wanted to ask you one quick question, right?
Sure.
Because I know I'm going to meet you, and I know I'm going to meet you offline because I have to, because everything that you say is my son. My son is a passionate drawer. He gets up and he draws, and he goes to bed and he draws, and that's what he's been doing for the past 15 years of his life. So passion, purpose, practice, yes, he has it. But I wanted to ask you, how does an artist protect their work?
So I call it poor man's copyright. It's taking those pictures and putting them into Google Photos. Google Photos timestamps everything that you do. That's the first thing. Second is get a copyright. And it's copyright the collection, if you will, and not just an individual piece of artwork, and have that. But also document the process of what you're doing, how you do it, when you do it, whether it be through video, whatever it is. Because if it comes back, like I can go into a photo that I have now and I can swipe it up and I can see if somebody has copied it. I found people have copied the work before and it made slight variations. You have to contact them and say, hey, this is my work, and you can prove it in the law because you have your process that you've done, you've named it, and you've put this all together. I create portfolios for mine.
Okay.
I like the format copyright piece. You be the first out there with it, and it's copyrighted, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it may not offer you the greatest, best protection, but it's copyrighted. It's copyrighted. Yeah.
Yes.
First out there.
Mm-hmm.
First out there. Yeah. So it's date stamp. Mm-hmm.
Google will have everything there and will tell you where the picture was taken,
Mm-hmm.
what was used to take the picture, and it takes everything that was there, and you can see if there's any comparison. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right. So, great conversation. You're in the spotlight. We're having a conversation with Tamara Gammon from K. Alexander Galleries, and it's not a regular everyday gallery. It's about empowerment. It's about lifting people up. It's about making people realize their true potential, what they're capable. And even those that can't get there, there's still the opportunity to continue to persist, to work, to get there. So, this is an opportunity right now. Is there anything else you'd like to add that you have not already said, or any closing thoughts?
Delay does not mean denied. So even if you don't get it today, if you continue to pursue what it is you believe in, at one day it will come to fruition. So don't take the no's. Say, okay, thank you very much, and keep moving. But understand that people's no today can be a yes 3 years from now, tomorrow, whenever it is. Mm-hmm. So believe in yourself enough and be passionate enough about who you are and what it is that you are doing. Even when people tell you no, and trust me, I've had the naysayers who say, go get a real job, you're not making any money this month or whatever it is. But I have consistently given to myself, and I hold myself accountable to make sure that I am giving the best that I can be. So only your best is good enough. And
What else can you say?
Oh.
Yeah. Donna, what are you thinking?
Oh, no, I just, like I said, she's so on point. Everything that you've said is just such an inspiration, and really, anyone who's listening, right, should really take in everything that you're saying, because it's very encouraging, right? Very encouraging and very empowering, for anyone who's listening to us.
thank you.
We brought you on to talk about your art, but you gave a lesson in resilience. That's it. That's my takeaway. When it beat you up, get up. Who was it that did that song? Peter Tosh did that song. Dust yourself off and start all over again. And that's what I'm hearing. And I'm not so much into being inspired and motivated anymore, because that's a short-term thing, right? Yeah, I'm into getting it done. Work with me to get it done. For me, how can I take this little bit of inspiration and motivation to the next place? What's next? Yeah, that's where I'm seeing things. That's where I'm placed these days. It's good to feel nice. Nice, short-lived, right? Short-lived, and that's what I'm hearing. That's what you do. That's what you do. Yeah, you get a little bit feel-good thing, but what happens after that thing wear off? You got to get back up, put that 10 hours a day in, to whatever amount of hours you need. If you got to do compressed time frames, turn 1 day into 3 days, whatever you got to do.
Exactly.
Is what you do. And that's my piece. So I'm encouraging anyone out there who is watching now or will see this, pay attention. Pay attention to how you use your time. What you use your time to do. Make sure every second, every minute, every hour says something. It's supporting what you believe your purpose is. And it's okay if you don't know. As long as you're in pursuit of it, as long as you're going after it, guess what? You'll connect. You'll connect one day. Just be in pursuit. We live in a world where it's moving, right? This thing is turning. So can we afford to be stuck in one spot? I don't think so. So Donna, you're gonna take us home?
Yeah, sure. So I would definitely like to say to our special guest, Tamara, Ms. Tamara Gammon, we so appreciate you being here this evening and thanking you so much for spending your Monday evening with us, because I'm quite sure you have a lot that you could be doing. But we're humbled that you're here and you've shared so much knowledge, not just about your art, the work that you're doing, but what you're doing in the community and what you're doing for others. And if no one has said thank you before, I say thank you. Because I know that what you're doing, it's not, it's a lot that you're giving back for anyone who's in the arts and know how challenging it can be. You know that what you're offering is something that is just priceless to an artist. So I really appreciate you doing that. And I'd like to say to our guests, we look forward to seeing you in February 2015. I know we're going to be seeing you before then, but we look forward to having you at the colloquium there in February. And to our audience who have stayed with us this evening, thank you very much for joining us again on a Monday evening. We do thank you for spending the time with us. We do not take your time for granted at all. And we hope that this evening's show has definitely sparked a fire in you, so that if you're in the arts, whatever that may be, it doesn't have to be, the painting to the canvas. Art is an array of different things. So if you have that creative juice in you, definitely connect with Tamara. She can definitely help to guide you in that direction that you need to be fulfilled. And Dr. Lax, it's another Monday evening. I think you've done it again.
And we did it again. And Tamara, just hang out backstage with us for a few minutes, okay? So I guess we're out. See you Thursday on Bridging Generation, Voices of Men. We'll be talking about responsible parenting. And it will be specific to being a father, right? So we're out. Blessings always.
Trails written of hearts that strive through fire and flame, they find their way, becoming iron where courage holds sway. Becoming iron, with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night.